All right, guys, good morning. I am so glad that you joined me today. So, let's start off with welcome. I hope you had a great night and you thought about some of your goals yesterday. So, that was recapping from yesterday. We can't get to where we want to go if we don't know how to get there. And if we don't know how to get there, then we need to figure that out. Because without having a clear roadmap, which is what doing like SMART goals and having that specific knowledge of where we want to be, because if we want to go to Disney World, but we only say that we're going to Florida, well, that doesn't make much sense. Kind of like I want to be rich, but you don't do specifics of how rich you want to be or what rich means to you. Because a lot of people, rich means 100,000 a year. Other people, rich would be 10 million. But if you want to make 10 million a year or in your lifetime, what are you going to spend that on? Like, why that number? And just having the financial goals helps you realize what your priorities are and how to get there. And it's just the roadmap that you need to be able to accomplish your financial goals. So that brings us into today for money mindset and understanding what your money mindset is and why you need it to achieve long-term financial success. So money mindset is pretty much a collection of beliefs and attitudes that you have towards money. So that's going to be like your limiting beliefs and how you view money and just why you think you do about money. So people typically have a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset. And I mean, if you know those words, you know scarcity means that you think that there isn't very much money, and abundance means that you live like it's grows on trees. Which, if we want to be literal, it does, because cash is paper and paper comes from trees. So, you kind of do have a money tree then. But anyway, so scarcity mindset, you pretty much believe that you never have enough money. And abundance is there's always enough. So that kind of plays into essentially how you were raised. I mean, if you see your parents just spending, 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 and believing that there's no end to your money, then you're probably going to have an abundance mindset. But if you grew up poor and your family was always fighting to have enough money to buy groceries or keep a roof over your head, or maybe they didn't even have a roof over your head and you were always moving because you couldn't afford your place, well, then that's going to shape how you view money. And limiting beliefs are such a huge thing. And again, that's brought on by how we were raised. I was raised with a doctor for a dad, so we never we always had abundance. Like, I always grew up having money, but I feel looking back that I never took it for granted. Like, I was grateful. And I mean, I know there were moments looking back that I was probably a snot because I didn't get something that I wanted or whatnot. But I mean, what kid isn't like that, no matter what your upbringing is? But just the limiting beliefs of I grew up with money, so like it is there, I can make it. Reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, realize even because I mean in that book, Poor Dad makes hundreds of thousands a year, but he's still poor because he spends that and just doesn't know how to invest in his future and whatnot. And so, I mean, even just because you have a good number on paper for your income doesn't mean that you can't be poor, because 37% of Americans who make over $250,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck. And that shouldn't be how we do it. But, when we're not taught how to save or how to do anything with finances, and we're pretty much told that we just need to spend all of the money that we make, and that's all we're taught is spending, then that's how that's going to be, because you make $250,000, but you spend $250,000 a year, and that's how you become poor. Like, even when you have on paper that you make a lot of money. So it's just coming to those limiting beliefs and accepting them and knowing that you can overcome them. Because, going back to how we were raised, if you were raised with not much money, that you believe that you have to work hard to get anywhere in life and save, and that's how you're going to get the American dream. Well, unfortunately, the American dream is pretty much dead. Because back in the day, the American dream was you work hard, save hard, and you'll retire with lots and lots of money. But that's not the case anymore. Nowadays, you need to work smarter, not harder, because time is not money. Time is much more valuable. If time was money, then you would be, if someone offered you $1 million, but as soon as you took that $1 million, you would die. Well, if time was money, that would be an even exchange. But smart people, which I hope you are smart, would say, no, I am not taking $1 million to die. So that's something to think about. So you need to change that negative belief about how to get away that money is a fleeting thing. Because, there's always money to be had. Until the economy completely dies, there is always money to be had. And you need to realize that it is there. And just be aware of recognizing and overcoming those limiting beliefs and changing the negative beliefs around money, such as cognitive restructuring and evidence gathering. Because just because your past told you something doesn't mean that is right now. So your life right now is not dictated by your past. And what that means is the future is unknown. If we want to get into it, the past does repeat, but it doesn't have to. So if you grew up poor, you don't have to stay poor. And most people I know with money did not inherit that money. They actually came from the ground up. If you know anything about Tony Robbins, he didn't have money. If you know Grant Cardone, he didn't have money. And it's just most millionaires didn't come from money. That being said, you can be a millionaire. It's not that difficult, but people seem to have it instilled in us that we can't. And that's why we need to reframe and refocus and change our strategies around money. And personal success stories that I've seen, like I said, famous people, a lot of them come from nothing, and then they get millions of dollars. And then if you see, half of them file bankruptcy because they don't know what to do with their money. Because again, they get money, they spend money. They go buy expensive cars and expensive houses and go on lavish vacations. And that's fine and dandy. I'm not saying don't do that. But there is a line where you need to be aware of. And when your mindset and behaviors need to align. Because, I mean, again, if in your mind you're like, ooh, let's go shiny object, let's go buy it. And your behaviors are doing the same, like, okay, let's go buy it. We need to get that under control. Because if you just have money and you're like, I need to spend it versus save it, like, where are you on that line? Do you spend everything you get? Like, if you have money in your account, are you like, oh, I need to spend that? Or are you thinking like, I should really save it? Do you have that little voice in your head when you go shopping that I shouldn't buy this, but I want it? And then later on you regret it? That's the voice that we need to quiet. Well, not the regretting it, but the I need it. So if you're in that mindset, one suggestion is wait 3 days. If you see something you want, put it on hold, put it in the cart, and 3 days later, if you still want it and you can afford it, then I suggest then you can buy it. But again, if you don't have, say it costs $30 and you don't have 60 in cash, not credit card, cash, then you can't afford it. You should have 2 times the amount in cash to be able to buy something, and then you won't be poor. And that's another mindset, is just being aware of that. That's why you hear so often that people go house poor, because they buy a house that they can afford the payments, but it's more than they should budget for. And that's one thing that you need to keep track of, is your budget. And again, that goes in to the money mindset and just being aware of different things in your surroundings. And again, your behaviors, because if you're spending everything, then you're not saving, and shiny object syndrome. So I get that a lot too, don't worry. And I'm feeling it right now too, because if you watched yesterday's replay or you were live, I have not been feeling the best. So my brain is kind of squirrel. And I mean, we can easily change our money mindset. I did over the last couple of years. I mean, it's not easy, and I still have to reevaluate if some kind of feeling pops up in my brain towards money, but usually I can figure it out pretty quick of where that idea is coming from. And you just have to cultivate that positive mindset. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, but making gratitude practice, or making a gratitude list and being grateful for what you do have, and looking at why you think you need to upgrade to that new iPhone versus the iPhone you have, and looking why you need that expensive car or big house when it's just you, or like why you think you need all this stuff when you don't. Like, you don't even use half the stuff that you have now, so why do you need to buy more? And it's just kind of thinking about that, and like visualization techniques, and like I said yesterday, Post-its with the goal, and like if you want to spend less, right on there, spend less. Spend $100 less a month on junk. Stop getting your hair done. Stop getting your nails done. Stop doing your eyelashes, because you don't need giant eyelashes that look like spiders on your face. No offense. I like getting my eyelashes done sometimes too, but I do them myself. But just kind of, and then realizing that that stuff costs a lot of money. When people say that they can't afford to do coaching or learn a new skill, most of the time, if you looked at what you're spending your money at, you can afford to learn a new skill. You can afford to do this. It's just you're prioritizing vanity metrics like the nails, the eyelashes, the hair, stuff like that. That's what you're prioritizing. And that's fine if that's what you want. But don't come at me saying that you can't save and you don't make enough money to save, because that's just, you're lying to yourself. And let me reframe that. You can save, you choose not to. And that's the thing. Life is about choices. You can choose one or the other. They're both going to be difficult. Usually, there's never an easy choice. If there was an easy choice, everyone would choose it. And you just have to realize, too, that the self-talk and affirmations are what's going to shape your beliefs and behaviors related around money. So if you're saying to yourself that you can't save, that you will never retire, that you have a problem, I mean, the first is acceptance, admitting that you have a problem, coming from alcoholic addict. But that self-talk, telling yourself that you can or can't. I mean, Henry Ford said it best, when whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And that's what I tell people working in the recovery community is, if you believe that you can't stay sober, you're not going to. I wish I could tell you otherwise, but it's on you to be able to fix it. And that, don't misconstrue that. You can get help. We need help, like that community for finances and recovery and everything in between. We need community as human beings. We need other human beings. But when we say that we want to start saving, but then don't do it and spend all of our money, well, we're lying to ourselves, and then we get discouraged because we're lying to ourselves. And it's just a whole catch-22. So, and I want to do this little bit of homework for you, or rather give this piece of homework to you, to make some post-its of just positive affirmations about yourself and positive influences and role models and who you look up to as far as money. And I mean, if you look up to Oprah because of her backstory and now she's a billionaire, then write on a post-it Oprah and put it around your house. Or just, I can make $10,000 a month, because it is easier than you think, honestly. And I would love to show you how easy it is, but that is another challenge for another day. But today we are working on your mindset, because it is one of the most powerful things in the world, is your mind. Because we are always in our mind. It's the one thing we really can't shut off. Being an alcoholic in recovery, I've tried. And it just, when you become sober, you realize that you can't shut it off. And I have Post-its all over the place. Like, I even, look at this, I even have a Post-it on my water bottle. And it's one of those things that I just have Post-its everywhere to remind me of my goals. And it definitely helps you to move towards them when you're constantly reminded of them. And again, if you set a goal and you're like, gosh, I can't do that, well, then let's break it down. And when we are able to check off something from our goal list, then that instills that we can do it in our mindset. Because again, if we're failing at our goals, well, then in our brain, we're a failure. And we don't want that. So in our financial journey, we need to be positive and realize that we can fall at times, but it's how we get back up. And I mean, when Edison was doing the light bulb, he found 1,000 ways to not do it, and then 1,001 he did it. And when asked about that, he said that I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. So it's just looking at that versus I failed 1,000 times. Or you hear people that do something 9 times and it's utter failure all 9 times. And then on that 10th time, it's 100% success. And you just have to realize that those 9 times that you didn't succeed were training you how to get that success that you want. And I just want you to know that it is a process. I hated people saying that to me, but it is, you need to trust the process. And it's insane since I've gotten into the financial world, how much finances and like addiction work together, like SMART goals and your mindset. And it's pretty much just life. And I want you to do some mindfulness exercises. So just, again, create a gratitude list every night. Write 5 things that you are grateful for. Because if you are grateful, a grateful mind cannot have resentments and negativity because you're looking at what you're happy with. So I want that to be your homework tonight, is to create a numbered 5, a itemized 5 list of things that you are grateful for. And just to gain like the clarity and focus of where you are and what you're happy about and what you're grateful for. Because without being grateful, like that's why people are miserable sometimes when they have money, because they don't know how to use it. They just hoard it. And I feel personally that when people are like that they're just miserable. And with, like, if you believe in God, because I do work with Christians and I am a Christian, that when you tithe and give to charity and help out your community, well, then that just creates even more gratitude in life and knowing that you're making a difference versus hoarding your money to buy a Lamborghini or an expensive house, because those things aren't going to make you happy. That's just crap that we don't necessarily need. And I just want you to have financial intentions that are aligned with your desired mindset and goals and values. And I want you to have the clarity of what you want to spend your money on. And if you want to spend your money on nails and eyelashes and hair, then that's your prerogative. And you can 100% do that. I am not up here saying don't do that. I am not Ramsey saying put all your money towards debt. I'm not saying that at all. We need to have fun and be reminded of why we are saving and why we don't want debt and why we want to create generational wealth, because I feel so many families are passing down generational curses versus generational wealth. And people, another mindset is only people with money can make a difference in the world. Well, become one of those people with money and you can make a difference in the world. And let's work on that. So you can visualize your financial goals and create actionable steps to support their intentions. So when we working in with yesterday about your financial goals, when we create actionable steps, and like I said, you can check off one of those steps, that is telling our brain, great job. That is a gold star for our brain. And our brains like that. It releases some serotonin and gets us in a happy mood that we can like literally check it off. So with that in mind, contacts. Sorry, brain just shut off again. Probably don't need any more caffeine this morning. But one thing to note also is that finances are the number one stressor in life. And it all comes back to your mindset, because you can either trust in God and know that He is going to help you and your finances and your life and just take care of that, or you can stress and be anxious and worrisome and just all those negative, yucky emotions. And one thing in the Bible is do not be afraid is repeated 365 times. That is the most said command from God in the Bible. So do not be afraid. Trust in the Lord, and all things are possible. Because, you know, with support and accountability and everything, you can accomplish your financial goals. And it is truly wondrous when you realize that your mindset just switches. It's like a light bulb moment, literally. And I love having those now. And you can become who you want with your finances. And it is amazing when you stop worrying about your finances and stressing about them, and just know that you can change your mindset and that things do change in time. And just like with your goals, things progress on. And when, like I said, if you get feeling a certain way about your finances, just take a look at where that is stemming from. And one thing too that just came to me is people say that money is the root of all evil. It's not. The love of money is the root of all evil. When you put money ahead of people, that's when you are getting into the root of all evil, because then it's just you're putting money ahead of people and God and everything else, and money will never love you back. Money does not make you happy. Money allows for you to have time to make yourself happy. And that's one thing that it took me a long time to realize too, that no amount of spending or shopping is going to make me happy. And like I said, I grew up with money, but I've also been homeless on a park bench. So it's just, I mean, it's finding that perfect little center median. And again, like just being grateful for where you are in life. And I mean, everything is teaching you something. And I am just so happy that you are here today with me. And I wanted to talk again about Friday being an extra day that you need to go apply for. And we're going to be talking about the number one way to actually get what you want with finances. because there really is a number one. And that's going to be Friday's topic. And I want to thank you all for coming. I know this is a lot shorter, but again, I have not been feeling well. I apologize. Come to Friday, and I would love to see you there. I love seeing you here, and I hope you gain a whole lot of useful information around money mindset and just obliterating those limiting beliefs and focusing on gratitude. And I am sorry that I'm cutting this short, and I love you guys, and I know that you are closer to your goals than you think. You are closer to that financial freedom than you think. And all you have to do is focus on where you want to go. And I mean, there's more to it than just that, but that's a great first step. And as always, I am very easily reachable. Send me a message, send me questions. I love to answer them. I love talking with my friends and family and everyone on here. And when I say friends and family, I mean you, not just literally friends and family. I want everyone to succeed, and that is part of my downfall in life too, because not everyone, I want you to succeed more than you do probably. But yeah, I just want to get your mindset changed to help yourself. So go register for Friday. I'd love to see you. It's an extra free day. Hopefully by then I am feeling better. And I love you, and have a great rest of your day. Welcome to Finances.